My beloved, draw near for a moment and let the noise around you loosen its grip. Let your breath settle. Let your shoulders soften. Let your mind rest from all the battles you have been carrying alone. I am here, and I am speaking to you in this quiet place, where your heart can finally hear what it has been longing for. You have walked through days that felt heavy and nights that felt endless, and still something inside you kept reaching, kept hoping, kept listening. That small, steady pull was me. In the stillness, I invite you to open the deepest part of yourself, not to pressure you, not to demand from you, but to guide you into clarity that has been waiting just beyond the fog of your exhaustion. You do not need to force anything. You do not need to prove anything. Simply be here with me. You are standing at the edge of a new awakening, a new strength, a new truth rising within you. And in this sacred pause, I prepare your heart for what comes next. Take my hand, precious one. Let us begin the journey you were always meant to walk. This is your moment to fight with truth. My child, listen closely, for this moment is not ordinary. This moment carries a weight, a breath, a pulse that presses gently but unmistakably against your spirit. You feel it even if you cannot fully name it yet. Something in you knows that you are standing before a crossroads where you can no longer move through life the same way you once did. And this is why I speak to you now with such tenderness and such urgency. This is why the words "fight with truth" rise like a banner before your eyes. You have been fighting, yes, but not always with what strengthens you, not always with what frees you. You have fought with weariness. You have fought with assumption. You have fought with the weight of expectations, both spoken and silent. You have fought with memories that pull you backward, and fears that try to blur your vision of what lies ahead. And though you have endured much, I am calling you higher now. I am calling you deeper. I am calling you into a battle where your weapon is not exhaustion or confusion, but clarity that cannot be shaken. This message reaches you now because the timing is not random. You may think you simply stumbled into this moment, or that you are listening out of curiosity, but you are here because your spirit has been crying out for alignment, for direction, for truth that cuts through every lie you have tolerated for too long. You are here because you are ready, more ready than you realize, to step out of the shadows of distortion and into the light of who you truly are. The reason this message is rising now is because the pressure around you has been increasing. You have felt the tension in your decisions, in your relationships, in the inner wars you haven't dared to speak out loud. Something has been challenging your identity, your purpose, your sense of direction. Something has been whispering to you in moments of weakness, trying to tell you that you are lost, that you are late, that you are failing, that your path is slipping from your hands. But those whispers are not truth, my beloved. They are distractions designed to drain you before you can rise. And so I come to you in this moment, not to overwhelm you, not to frighten you, but to realign you. I come to show you that the battle you are in is not a sign of your weakness, but a sign that something powerful is awakening within you. You are not being defeated. You are being sharpened. You are not unraveling. You are being refined. You are not falling apart. You are stepping into the clarity that has been calling to you for so long. This is why you must fight with truth, because truth steadies your mind when confusion shouts. Truth strengthens your heart when fear tightens around it. Truth clears your vision when the path becomes clouded with doubt. Truth anchors your identity when voices around you demand that you become smaller, quieter, or different than who you were created to be. My child, you have reached a point where you can no longer fight with anything less than what is real. You have reached a moment where pretending, minimizing your needs, or dimming your light will only exhaust you further. You can no longer carry the weight of false expectations or stories that do not belong to you. You can no longer arm yourself with self-doubt or silence. You need truth now, pure, unfiltered, anchoring truth. And I am here to give it to you. Hear me now. The truth is that you are not alone in your battle, and you have never been. The truth is that you have strength you have not yet accessed, wisdom you have not yet embraced, courage you have not yet released. The truth is that the challenges rising around you are not signs that you are failing. They are signs that something precious, something necessary, something divine is being formed in you. This is your moment to rise, not with force, not with panic, but with awareness, with clarity, with purpose, with truth. Let these words settle into you. Let them prepare the soil of your heart for what is coming next. The journey ahead will unfold layer by layer, revelation by revelation, strength by strength. And through it all, I will walk with you, guiding you, steadying you, speaking into the deepest places of your spirit. This is only the beginning, my beloved. And from this moment forward, you will no longer fight with fear. You will fight with truth. My beloved, before we move any further, I want you to pause and breathe, because this next step requires a tenderness that you do not often allow yourself to feel. You have carried so much on your own shoulders, hidden so much behind quiet strength, behind practiced smiles, behind the brave face you wear even when your heart is trembling beneath the surface. And I want you to know this with absolute certainty. I have seen every piece of it. Nothing in you has ever been overlooked, ignored, or dismissed. Not a single moment of your pain has gone unnoticed. Not a single cry of your spirit has been lost in the air. There were nights when you held your own heart together with nothing but sheer determination, whispering to yourself that you would make it through, even though a part of you feared you wouldn't. I saw you then. I saw the tears you wiped before anyone could notice. I saw the breaths you steadied so others wouldn't hear the shake in your voice. I saw the moments when you wanted to collapse but chose to stand, even when standing felt like shattering. And every time you thought, "No one understands," I understood. Every time you felt unseen, I saw you completely. Every time you felt unheard, I listened to the words you couldn't even form. Every time you felt insignificant, I held the truth of your worth close to you, waiting for the moment your heart could receive it. You have walked through valleys that no one knows existed. You have carried burdens that others assumed were easy for you because you never complained. You have wrestled silently with questions that tormented you in the darkness. Questions about your purpose, your identity, your direction, your value. You have wondered if you were falling behind. You have wondered if you were failing. You have wondered if you were enough. My child, hear me. I have seen every internal battle you have fought. I know the thoughts you have silenced. I know the fears you dared not say aloud because you worried they would make you seem weak or dramatic or overly emotional. But none of those fears ever disqualified you from my love, my attention, or my guidance. Nothing in you is too much for me. Nothing in you is invisible to me. Nothing in you is ignored by me. You have been longing for someone to truly understand the depths of what you feel, the weight of what you carry, the complexity of who you are. And I tell you now, I know you fully, and I love you wholly. There have been seasons when you felt misunderstood, not because you were unclear, but because others were not listening with the same depth that your soul speaks. You express yourself from a place of sincerity, but not everyone has the sensitivity to receive your truth, and that has hurt you more times than you admit. You have felt overlooked in conversations, overshadowed by stronger voices, or dismissed because you process life with more heart than some people can handle. But I made you this way on purpose. Nothing in your design is accidental. Your depth is not a flaw. Your sensitivity is not a weakness. Your capacity to feel, to care, to love, to perceive, these are gifts, even though the world has sometimes made them feel like burdens. I see the ways you have tried to diminish yourself to make others comfortable. I see how often you have held back your thoughts, your dreams, your needs out of fear that you would be misunderstood or rejected. I see the quiet ache of wanting to be valued without having to perform for it. I see the longing in you, the longing to simply be accepted, to be chosen, to be loved without condition. You are not difficult to love. You are not too complex to understand. You are not a burden to carry. You are a soul with layers, with history, with wounds that have shaped you but have not defined you. You are a heart that has been stretched by life, bruised by disappointment, strengthened by perseverance. You are someone who rises again and again, even when you feel you have nothing left to give. And I tell you now, every rise has been witnessed. Every step had been recorded in the deepest place of my love for you. Every time you kept moving when you wanted to stop, I celebrated your courage. Every time you pulled yourself from heaviness, I stood with you. Every time you whispered, "I don't know how much more I can take," I covered you with strength you couldn't see. Nothing have been wasted, not your pain, not your waiting, not your confusion, not your longing. All of it has shaped the sensitivity of your spirit, the clarity of your purpose, and the depth of your connection to me. And now, as you prepare to step into a new place of truth, I want you to know that you are not stepping forward as someone unseen. You are stepping forward as someone fully known, fully understood, fully held. You are not alone in this journey, and you never were. I know you. I see you. And I walk with you into what comes next. My beloved, we now arrive at a sacred turning point, one that your spirit has sensed approaching long before your mind understood it. You are standing at the edge of something new, something necessary, something that has been quietly forming beneath the surface of your life. This moment did not appear suddenly. It has been building through every challenge, every stirring, every whisper of discomfort you could no longer ignore. You are at a threshold, and thresholds always arrive wrapped in both tension and possibility. There comes a time in every journey when you can no longer continue as you were. Not because you failed, not because you are unworthy, but because you have outgrown the place you once survived in. You have outgrown the narratives that kept you small. You have outgrown the fears that convinced you to wait for permission. You have outgrown the version of yourself that learned to endure instead of expand. And though this growth has been slow, quiet, and often painful, it has brought you here, to this exact moment, where clarity invites you forward and truth calls your name. The threshold moment is never loud. It is not a dramatic explosion or a clear trumpet. It is the deep knowing that settles in your chest when you realize that something must shift, and that shift must begin within you. You can feel it now, can't you? That quiet insistence, that inner pull, that sense that the way things have been can no longer be the way things continue. Not if you want to be whole. Not if you want to be aligned. Not if you want to step into what has always belonged to you. This moment is not here to frighten you, my child. It is here to awaken you. Because you have reached a place where remaining the same would cost you more than changing ever could. Remaining in old habits, old stories, old fears, old limits has become too heavy, too confining, too draining. Something in you is ready to let go of the cycles that keep repeating. Something in you is ready to stop shrinking. Something in you is ready to see clearly, to fight with truth instead of confusion or compromise. In this threshold moment, I want to show you the difference between drifting and deciding. Drifting happens when you move through life without intention, letting circumstances pull you into places you never chose. It is the slow, subtle way you lose yourself without realizing it. Drifting leads to exhaustion because you are constantly reacting instead of creating, constantly surviving instead of choosing. And for a long time, you have drifted, not because you were weak, but because you were overwhelmed, trying to hold everything together while the ground kept shifting beneath your feet. But clarity is different. Clarity is intention. Clarity is joys. Clarity is the moment you lift your head and say, I cannot go back to who I was before. I must move forward. In this moment of truth, you begin to reclaim your direction. You stop waiting for the perfect moment, the perfect confidence, the perfect circumstances. You begin to step with purpose, even if your legs tremble. You begin to speak truth to yourself, even if your voice shakes. You begin to walk toward what aligns with your soul, even if part of you still fears the unknown. This threshold moment is your invitation to shift from drifting to deciding, to take ownership of your path, your choices, your healing, your truth. Not through force, not through pressure, but through awareness, through alignment, through the gentle yet powerful recognition that you are meant for more than cycles that drain you. You are meant for more than silence that suffocates you. You are meant for more than battles that break you. You are meant to walk in clarity, grounded identity, and truth that frees you. And this is why the timing of this moment matters so deeply. You have reached a place in your journey where you are finally able to receive what I have been preparing to give you. There were seasons when the weight of your pain would have drowned out my voice. There were seasons when the noise of your surroundings would have swallowed my guidance. But now your spirit is attentive. Now your heart is open. Now your inner strength is rising. You may still feel uncertain. You may still feel unworthy. You may still feel afraid. But even with all of that, there is a readiness in you that cannot be denied. A readiness that whispers, it's time. A readiness that urges you to step forward even if you cannot yet see the whole path. This threshold is not about perfection. It is about direction. It is about choosing truth over fear, choosing clarity over confusion, choosing alignment over old patterns, choosing growth over stagnation, choosing to rise instead of remaining hidden. And I am with you in every step of this crossing. I do not ask you to walk through this threshold alone. I do not push you. I invite you. I extend my hand to you, not as a demand, but as a promise that you will not face the next season without my presence. You are standing at the doorway of transformation, my child. Everything in you, your experiences, your pain, your longing, your resilience, has prepared you for this. This is your moment of awakening, your moment of clarity, your moment to step forward with truth as your guide. My beloved, before you move fully through this threshold, we must gently uncover the barriers that have stood in your way, barriers you have carried for so long that they may feel like a part of you, though they were never meant to define you. I speak of them not to shame you, but to free you. For truth cannot guide you forward until the lies that have tangled around your heart are named and released. And so, with tenderness, let us look together at what has been holding you back. There is the barrier of doubt, that quiet, persistent voice that questions your worth, your calling, your capability. Doubt has crept into your thoughts in moments of weakness, whispering that you are not ready, not strong enough, not wise enough, not qualified. It has convinced you to limit yourself before you even attempted to rise. It has made you second-guess your instincts, your dreams, your desires. But hear me. Doubt is not truth. Doubt is not clarity. Doubt is not your identity. It is simply a shadow cast by old wounds and past disappointments. And shadows lose their power when exposed to light. Then there is fear, a force that has wrapped itself around your decisions more times than you care to admit. Fear has tried to convince you that staying small is safer than stepping into the unknown. It has whispered that change will only lead to pain, that vulnerability will only lead to loss, that boldness will only lead to disappointment. But fear has never known your future. Fear only recycles your past. It shows you what went wrong before and tells you it will happen again, even though you are not the same person you once were. My child, fear is loud, but it is not wise. You do not have to obey it. There is also the barrier of hesitation, that lingering pause that stops you just before you commit to the path that calls your name. Hesitation often disguises itself as caution or wisdom, but beneath it lies the worry that making the wrong choice will ruin everything. You have hesitated because you don't want to fail. You have hesitated because you don't want to disappoint. You have hesitated because you don't want to lose what little stability you have left. But hesitation has caused you to miss moments meant to lift you. It has held back your voice when you should have spoken, your heart when you should have opened, your feet when you should have stepped forward. The truth is this: it is better to move with imperfect steps than to remain frozen in indecision. Another barrier is confusion, the swirling mix of conflicting thoughts and emotions that makes everything feel complicated. Confusion has clouded your judgment, making it difficult to trust yourself. It has left you feeling stuck in cycles where you cannot tell the difference between intuition and fear, between longing and distraction, between alignment and obligation. But confusion is not the absence of truth. It is the presence of too many voices competing for your attention. Your soul has been drowned beneath noise that was never meant to guide you. You are not confused because you lack wisdom. You are confused because you have been listening to everything except your own truth. There are also external influences, people, expectations, and opinions that have shaped your choices more than you realized. You have tried to carry the weight of others' approval. You have tried to meet standards that were never aligned with your heart. You have allowed the assumptions of others to influence how you see yourself. And though these pressures were heavy, you bore them quietly, hoping they would eventually validate you. But validation built on the expectations of others will never satisfy your spirit. You were not created to live according to their fears or limitations. And then, my beloved, there is the barrier of old pain, the unspoken wounds that sit beneath your confidence, reminding you of moments when you were hurt, dismissed, abandoned, or misunderstood. Pain has shaped how you protect yourself. It has shaped how much you trust, how much you risk, how much you allow yourself to hope. Pain has taught you to expect disappointment so you can avoid the sting of surprise. But I want you to know that pain, too, is not your identity. It is part of your story. Yes, but it is not the end of it. Pain can inform you without imprisoning you. None of these barriers are who you are. They are experiences, influences, and echoes of your past, but they are not your truth. They are not your destiny. They are not proof of weakness. They are proof of humanity, of survival, of the depth with which you feel and think. And now, in this moment of awakening, truth invites you to see these barriers for what they are: obstacles to be released, not identities to cling to. My child, you are not doubt. You are not fear. You are not hesitation. You are not confusion. You are not the expectations of others. You are not your past pain. You are the one rising beyond all of it. As we move forward, you will not carry these barriers with you. You will step with clarity, with grounded knowing, with a heart unburdened by old shadows. Truth will lead you. Truth will strengthen you. Truth will prepare you for what comes next. My beloved, now that the barriers have been named and gently laid before us, I invite you into a deeper revelation, the unveiling of what truth is preparing to birth within you. This is not a promise of ease or instant change, but a promise of alignment, of restoration, of movement that flows from the deepest place of who you truly are. This promise is not about achieving something to earn worth. It is about receiving what already exists within you, waiting to rise once the fog begins to clear. You have walked through seasons where peace felt distant and fragile, slipping through your fingers as soon as you tried to hold on to it. But hear me, peace is not something you chase. Peace is something that emerges when truth is allowed to breathe freely in your life. And I promise you this, peace is returning to you, not as a fleeting moment, but as a steady undercurrent, a quiet strength that stabilizes you even when circumstances shift. This peace will not silence every storm around you, but it will silence the storms within you. Alongside peace, clarity is coming. Clarity has seemed elusive because you have been pulled in different directions, by fear, by obligation, by expectations, by old wounds that echoed louder than your true voice. But clarity does not disappear. It becomes clouded. And now, because you are learning to fight with truth, the clouds are lifting. You will begin to see what aligns with you and what does not. You will sense what strengthens you and what drains you. You will know when something resonates with your soul and when it pulls you away from yourself. The promise of clarity is not that every answer will appear instantly, but that you will no longer walk blind. Healing, too, is part of the promise unfolding within you. Healing that goes beyond surface comfort. Healing that touches the places you have hidden from others and even from yourself. There are wounds in you that have shaped how you move through the world. Wounds that have taught you to protect yourself in ways that no longer serve you. To stay silent when you long to speak, to withdraw when you long to be seen. But healing is coming to unravel the tightness around those old hurts. Healing is coming to soften the places where your heart has grown guarded. Healing is coming to remind you that you are allowed to be whole. And with healing comes restoration. Restoration is not about returning to who you were before pain touched you. It is about becoming the truest version of yourself because of everything you have overcome. Restoration rebuilds what was worn down by disappointment. It returns strength to the areas where you felt weak. It restores hope to the places where you once stopped dreaming. It revives your capacity to believe in possibility again. My beloved, restoration is not a distant hope. It is the quiet promise rising beneath the surface of your transformation. Another promise I offer you is movement. Gentle, purposeful, aligned movement. You will not remain stuck in the cycles that once drained you. You will not keep circling the same frustrations, uncertainties, or fears. Truth is creating momentum in your spirit, a momentum that will guide you into relationships, opportunities, and moments that match the person you are becoming. You will feel nudges, openings, confirmations that tell you, this is the way forward. The path will not always be simple, but it will be clear. And every step will feel more aligned than the one before it. But listen closely, my child. This promise is not a transaction. It is not given because you have earned it, achieved it, or proven yourself worthy of it. I offer these promises because they are part of the relationship between us, born out of love, out of presence, out of the deep knowing I have of your heart. You do not have to strive for them. You do not have to fear losing them. You only need to receive them with openness and trust. You may wonder if you are capable of living in this promise, if you are strong enough to step into clarity and peace after spending so long surviving storms. And I say to you, You are not stepping into this alone. My presence walks with you, steadies you, strengthens you. The promise is not that you will never feel fear again, but that fear will no longer control your steps. The promise is not that you will never face challenges, but that you will face them from a place of alignment rather than exhaustion. You will experience moments where you suddenly understand things that once confused you. Moments where your heart feels lighter without explanation. Moments where something inside you whispers, "This is who I really am." These are signs that the promise is unfolding within you, not as something external you must chase, but as something internal you are awakening into. My child, the promise of peace, the promise of healing, the promise of clarity, the promise of restoration, the promise of forward movement. These are not distant dreams. They are your inheritance. All of this is rising because you are choosing truth. You are choosing to see beyond fear, beyond doubt, beyond past wounds. You are choosing to walk with intention instead of drifting through survival. And as you do, the promise becomes more real, more tangible, more deeply rooted in your spirit. This is the beauty of fighting with truth. Truth does not just reveal what must be released. It reveals what is waiting to be received. My beloved, now we arrive at the place where truth begins to reshape you from the inside out, the place of surrender. Not surrender in the way the world has taught you, not as defeat or weakness or resignation, but surrender as release, surrender as freedom, surrender as the gentle opening of your hands so that what has burdened you can finally fall away. This is the sacred exchange. You let go of what drains you, and in return, you receive what strengthens you. You have been carrying so much, my child. More than you admit to others. More than you admit to yourself. You have learned to endure by holding everything tightly. Your fears, your memories, your anxieties, your responsibilities, your pain. You have believed that if you loosened your grip even slightly, everything would collapse. But holding so tightly has exhausted you, and truth whispers now that there is another way. Surrender begins with the recognition that you were never meant to carry everything alone. You were never meant to navigate storms with clenched fists and a trembling heart. Surrender is not giving up, it is giving over. Giving over the weight that was never designed to remain in your possession. Giving over the loops of worry that tire your mind. Giving over the guilt that limits your joy. Giving over the fears that shrink your steps. My beloved, hear me clearly. Your burdens do not make you stronger when held. They make you stronger when released. Strength is not the absence of vulnerability. Strength is the willingness to let truth lighten the load you can no longer bear. You are not meant to prove anything through suffering. You are meant to live aligned, light, whole. So let us begin the sacred exchange. Release the weight of trying to control what is beyond your control. You have spent so much energy attempting to predict, manage, and safeguard every possible outcome. This constant vigilance has worn down your spirit. But when you surrender what you cannot direct, you receive peace that holds you gently, telling you that you are safe even without having every answer. Release the burden of carrying others' expectations. You have shaped yourself around what others wanted, needed, or demanded from you. You have bent your voice, your time, your emotions to fit roles that suffocated your authenticity. But when you surrender their expectations, you receive the freedom to be who you are, not who you are performing to be. Release the pressure of trying to heal all at once. Healing is not a task to complete. It is a journey to honor. You have been frustrated with yourself for still feeling pain, for still carrying old wounds, for still being affected by what happened to you. But healing takes time. When you surrender the pressure to be fully healed, you receive gentleness. gentleness toward yourself, gentleness toward your process, gentleness toward the parts of you still learning how to breathe again. Release the fear of not being enough. This fear has haunted you in ways you rarely speak of. It whispers that you are inadequate, that you need to do more, give more, achieve more. But when you surrender this fear, you receive identity, an identity rooted not in performance, but in truth. You begin to understand that worth is not earned, it is inherent. Release the guilt you carry for things that were never your fault. You have taken responsibility for the hurts of others, for situations you could not control, for outcomes that were shaped by forces far beyond you. You have apologized to yourself silently, over and over, for things you never caused. When you surrender this guilt, you receive compassion, compassion for who you were, for what you knew then, for how hard you tried with the tools you had. And as you release, my child, your hands begin to open. And with open hands, you are able to receive what has always been waiting for you. Into the space created by release, I place peace, a peace that settles into the corners of your mind, softening the chaos, quieting the noise. Peace does not erase hardship, it anchors you through it. Into the space created by surrender, I place clarity, clarity that illuminates your next steps, even if you can only see one at a time. Clarity that aligns you with truth rather than fear. Clarity that separates your voice from the voices of others. Into the space created by letting go, I place strength, not the frantic strength of survival, but the quiet strength of someone who knows who they are. Strength rooted in truth. Strength that does not waver with circumstance. Into the space created by release, I place lightness, the sense of being able to breathe again, to dream again, to feel again without judgment. Into the space created by surrender, I place wholeness, not perfection, but integration. The ability to hold your past with compassion and your future with hope. The sacred exchange is ongoing. It is not a single moment, but a way of moving through life with open hands and an open heart. Each time you feel the weight return, you can surrender it again. Each time fear speaks loudly, you can release it again. Each time old stories try to reclaim you, you can choose truth again. My beloved, surrender is the doorway to freedom. It is where burdens fall and blessings rise. It is where the old loosens its grip and the new begins to take form. And I am here, receiving every burden you release, offering you peace in return. My beloved, now that truth has begun to settle into your spirit, and surrender has opened space within you, it is time to speak gently about how this transformation becomes part of your daily life. For awakening is not meant to remain a moment, it is meant to become a way of living, breathing, choosing, and moving through the world. Alignment is the bridge between revelation and reality. It is the quiet, consistent tending of your inner world so that your outer world begins to reflect the truth rising within you. Alignment does not require perfection. It does not demand rigid discipline or impossible standards. Instead, alignment asks for presence, presence with yourself, presence with your values, presence with the gentle guidance rising from within you. Alignment is built one small choice at a time, and those small choices shape the path you walk. Begin first with your breath. So often you move through your days holding your breath without noticing, bracing, rushing, tightening your chest as if every moment requires preparation for impact. But your breath is your anchor. When you breathe slowly, intentionally, your mind softens, your body loosens, and your spirit remembers that you are safe. A single slow breath can bring you back into truth. A single breath can interrupt fear, calm anxiety, and invite clarity. Let your breath be your first practice of alignment. Next, Bring awareness to your focus. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every voice deserves space in your mind. Not every worry deserves to take up room in your heart. You have spent too much time absorbing chaos that was never yours to carry. Alignment asks you to be selective, to choose what you allow into your mind with intention, to notice when something is draining you, to honor when something no longer aligns with the person you are becoming. Let your focus be intentional, gentle, but firm in its truth. Your energy, too, must be stewarded with care. You have poured yourself into people, tasks, and situations that did not pour back into you. You have given so much without pausing to ask if your spirit had enough to give. Alignment invites balance, not withdrawal from others, but protection of your inner reserves. Notice who lifts your spirit and who depletes it. Notice what environments nourish you and which ones dull your light. Notice what activities leave you feeling expanded and which ones leave you feeling drained. Your energy is precious, my child. Treat it as such. Then there is the practice of speaking truth to yourself. The world around you offers so many narratives, some encouraging, some confusing, some deeply harmful. You must give your own voice permission to rise above the noise. Speak gently to yourself. Correct the lies the moment they attempt to root themselves. When fear whispers that you are not enough, speak truth. I am growing. When doubt tells you that you cannot move forward, speak truth. I am capable. When guilt tries to pull you backward, speak truth. I am learning. Let your inner voice become a place of kindness, not criticism. Another part of alignment is learning to rest without apology. You have been conditioned to believe that rest is unproductive, that slowing down is irresponsible, that pausing is a luxury. But the truth is this: rest is the soil of renewal. When you rest, your clarity strengthens, your emotions settle, your spirit recalibrates. Rest is not avoidance. It is nourishment. It is preparation. It is alignment. Give yourself permission to rest as often as your soul needs, without guilt, without justification. Your relationships also become part of your alignment. You are not meant to walk with everyone into the next season of your life. Some connections were meant only for a chapter, not the entire story. Alignment does not ask you to cut people out with harshness. It asks you to honor truth with compassion. Notice who honors your growth. Notice who listens to your heart. Notice who respects your boundaries. Notice who values your presence without demanding your silence. Choose relationships that reflect the truth rising within you. Another daily practice of alignment is quiet reflection. Even a few moments each day to sit with yourself, to ask, what do I need? What am I feeling? What is weighing on me? What is lifting me? Can transform your clarity. Reflection helps you catch misalignment early before it overwhelms you. Reflection reveals where truth needs to speak louder. Reflection anchors you in awareness instead of autopilot. And finally, alignment means letting peace become your internal compass. Peace does not mean the absence of challenge. It means the presence of inner steadiness. When something aligns with truth, you feel a quiet sense of rightness, even if it stretches you, even if it scares you. When something is out of alignment, you feel tension, heaviness, resistance. Learn to trust this inner knowing. Peace is not found by chance. It is recognized through awareness. My beloved, alignment is not a list of tasks. It is a rhythm that brings you back to yourself, back to truth, back to the path meant for you. By choosing presence over pressure, clarity over chaos, nourishment over depletion, and truth over fear, you begin to live from the deepest part of your spirit. And as you align your daily life with the truth awakening within you, your steps become steady, your heart becomes grounded, and your path becomes clear. My beloved, we have walked together through revelation, healing, surrender, and alignment. Now you stand before the final movement of this message, the moment of choice. Not a pressured choice, not an ultimatum, not a demand, but a sacred invitation. For every transformation eventually arrives at a crossroads where your spirit must decide how it will move forward. Truth can guide you. Peace can fill you. Clarity can surround you. But only you can choose to step into the life that truth is calling you toward. This choice is not about perfection. It is about direction. It is about choosing to no longer drift, choosing to no longer silence yourself, choosing to no longer shrink your heart to fit into spaces that cannot hold you. You have come too far to return to the patterns that once confined you. You have gained too much clarity to pretend you do not see what your spirit now recognizes. You have healed too deeply to allow old wounds to dictate your steps. And so you stand now at the edge of possibility, and possibility looks back at you with open arms. The choice before you is simple in its essence, yet profound in its impact. Will you fight with fear, or will you fight with truth? Will you align with the voice that tries to diminish you, or will you align with the voice that elevates you? Will you move from survival, or will you move from awareness? This moment is not about choosing a destination. It is about choosing a posture, a way of being, a commitment to yourself. Do not be afraid of choosing. You are not choosing alone. You are not stepping forward without support. My presence surrounds you, strengthens you, steadies you. Your spirit is wiser than you think. It knows the direction that brings you into alignment. It knows the path that leads to wholeness. It knows the truth that resonates through every part of your being. This is your moment to choose truth, not as an idea, but as a foundation. Choose truth that cleans the fog from your vision. Choose truth that protects your heart from old stories. Choose truth that calls forth the strength within you. Choose truth that leads you into a life that reflects who you truly are. And once you choose truth, you must speak it. Words shape atmosphere. Words shape a direction. Words shape identity. When you speak truth, you reaffirm what your spirit already knows. You break the hold of old narratives. You strengthen the alignment you have been creating. Your voice carries power, not because of volume, but because of authenticity. So now, my beloved, I will speak declarations that you may whisper, repeat, or hold silently in your heart. These are not spells or commands. They are affirmations of the truth rising in you. They are reminders of who you are becoming. They are anchors for the journey ahead. Let them settle deeply. Let them reshape your inner world. Let them remind you of the clarity you have already touched. Declare this truth: I choose to walk in clarity. For clarity will become your compass when confusion tries to pull you backward. Clarity will guide your decisions, your relationships, your direction. Declare this truth: I choose to release what no longer aligns with who I am becoming. For release makes room for peace. It makes room for growth. It makes room for the new that is waiting for you. Declare this truth: I choose to honor my own voice. Your voice matters. Your needs matter. Your emotions matter. You are worthy of being heard. Declare this truth: I choose to move with intention, not fear. Fear may still speak, but it does not decide your path and any shape your future. Declare this truth: I choose to see myself with compassion. You are not your past mistakes. You are not the wounds you've carried. Compassion allows healing to continue. Declare this truth: I choose peace over pressure. Pressure demands. Peace invites. Peace aligns. Peace strengthens. Declare this truth. I choose to fight with truth. For truth is your weapon, your anchor, your foundation. Truth cuts through the lies that once stole your confidence. Truth lifts you. Truth steadies you. As you speak these declarations, something within you shifts. Something aligns. Something loosens. Something strengthens. This is the power of choosing truth, not with force, but with intention. Not as a one-time decision, but as a continual returning to yourself. My beloved, this is your moment. You are stepping into a new way of living, a new way of breathing, a new way of seeing yourself and the world around you. And though challenges may still arise, you will face them differently now, not with the heaviness of survival, but with the clarity of truth. You have chosen your path. You have chosen your voice. You have chosen your alignment. You have chosen truth. And truth will carry you where you were always meant to go. If you are ready, I will seal this journey with the epilogue. My beloved, as we come to the quiet closing of this journey, allow your spirit to rest in the stillness we have created together. You have walked through layers of revelation, healing, surrender, and alignment. You have listened with an open heart. You have received with courage, and now you stand steadier, clearer, softer, and stronger than when you began. Let this moment be a gentle seal upon everything awakened within you. You are ready to move forward, not with fear, but with intention. Not with confusion, but with clarity. Not with heaviness, but with peace. The truth you have embraced is now part of you. It will rise in your decisions, echo in your thoughts, and guide your steps even when the world grows loud again. My child, walk knowing that you are held, guided, and never alone. Walk knowing that truth is your compass and peace is your inheritance. Walk knowing that this awakening was not accidental, it was timely, purposeful, divinely aligned. And as you step into the path before you, carry this seal in your heart. You are chosen to rise. You are called to clarity. You are strengthened to fight with truth.